And I knew if I wanted to get my license, that I had to get through those 3 books that you're talking about. That a man fear what they don't know. And my mother, single mother, 3 boys. And I know we took my mother down. It was just a shock of what I had to do when I got here. You're not waiting on me. You're not. And if I don't know, I got to figure it out. Every transaction is different. I bite out more than I can chew, man. Everybody needs help. Everybody. I can see you doing something, whether it's real estate, podcast, whatever. You're just going to do something.
What does failure is knowledge mean to you?
That's what you learn, man. That's how you learn from self.
Andre, man, I appreciate you coming on to the Failure is Knowledge podcast, man. I just want to ask you a random question.
Okay.
Why real estate?
Why real estate? Really, I got into real estate because I wanted to buy me a home, you know. And when I bought me a home, when I first bought my first home, it was a lot of questions I had. I got told to sign a lot of documents. I'm being told everybody had their own different opinion. And so I wanted to learn on my own. So the way I learned, I just went and studied. And then when I studied, that's what got me into real estate.
I remember when I was in when we met when we was in the Marine Corps, you was talking to me about real estate and how like, man, you can go ahead and get your license, and once you get your license, you come and work with me. And during that time, I was doing I was doing real estate wholesale. Well, I was learning about real estate wholesaling, and I was going to get my license, but then I had to study 3 different books, and the 3 different books, so many different pages. I'm like, yeah, I'm not about to do that. When you was actually going through the studying phases of getting your license, what inspired you to keep going?
So I just had a goal set. And I know like everything, nothing is free, right? So if I had to pay for the course, right? And I knew if I wanted to get my license, that I had to get through those 3 books that you're talking about. So if I wanted to do something, so there was no way around it, right? So that what kept me motivated because I know what I wanted to do at the end of the day. And so those 3 books was in my way. Okay, let's hit those 3 books and keep pushing.
You make it sound easy, bro.
A lot of people say that, but I mean, my thing is you make time for what you want, you know? So, no, nothing's never easy, but, I hit bumps in the road as well. But still, at the end of the day, that don't mean stop, you know? So it's about how bad you want it.
Okay. So let's go back in history, right? So when we met, you was already in the Marine Corps for quite some time. What encouraged you to join the service or to join the Marine Corps?
What encouraged me to join the Marine Corps, man, my kids, you know? I needed benefits, man. I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee, and back there, man, I feel like if I would have stayed there, I would have went down the wrong path. So I had my kids, and I was like, I need the best benefits possible. And then I was like, hey, I'll join the Marine Corps. Little did I know what I was jumping into, but but once I got it, every time I thought about getting out, I just looked at my kids, man, and that what made me stay and retire.
And how long did you do?
I did a little over 22.
22. I'm
Yeah.
26. You did what, a quarter of my life, man.
Hey, good times, good times.
just like you mentioned that you know what you was getting yourself into. You know how like they have different YouTube videos online, they have different people like sharing about the service and about their time being in.
Right.
I watched 2 different videos. I'm like, man, I don't think this is the life of I don't understand the life because I'm not in the life. So me trying to watch these videos and get prepared for it's not necessarily helping me. It's
Right.
actually giving me anxiety. It's actually making me be more overwhelmed than I ever needed to be. How did you step into what you did not know when you joined the Marine Corps?
So the thing is that a man fear what they don't know, right? So uh I just like I said, I know what I know what my end goal wanted to be. I wanted to start a foundation for my family. I wanted to have my kids with me 24/7, right? So I have to go through boot camp. Okay, go through boot camp, Dre. No, I make it sound easy. It's not easy. Boot camp was, it wasn't easy and wasn't hard either. But you know, I knew I wanted my end goal was to have my kids. So if I got to go through 3 months of somebody yelling and some good training going on, okay, let's get through those 3 months because at the end of the day, I still get my kids.
How many kids you have?
I have 3.
You have 3. And what's the oldest?
Oh my God, you want some math? My oldest is 28, And my
Okay,
youngest is 28, 26, and 19.
28, 26, 19. Okay. The reason why I asked that is because I was raised by a single mom and she
Okay.
raised three boys by herself. And I'm a twin, so my twin brother is 26 years old, and my oldest brother is 28.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm asking that is because like as I get older, I start to see like and understand more about life, understanding about different situations and surviving. My mom was a single mother with three boys. And to this day, I'm still surprised on how she did that. Like
Mm,
how were you able to provide for three boys, yourself, a house, a car, and still be okay? And it goes to show like when you're pursuing a particular goal, when you're pursuing a particular thing that you have in your mind, nothing's gonna stop you.
right.
Did you learn how to get out of your own way in order for you to accomplish what you wanted to?
And it's crazy that you mentioned your story, man. My mother, single mother, three boys. And I know we took our mother down through there, man. That's a strong woman. And so I think that's why I got a lot of my work that even before joining the Marine Corps, I learned a lot of good work ethics and values. And she still lets me know that to this day. She was like, baby, you never quit. Like, no matter what. Because that's how you raised me, woman. That's how you raised me. So I think I get a lot from her. You know what I mean? So just going back to that, just her being about raising three bad boys, and we were not good. So the good woman right there.
Phenomenal, phenomenal women, man. What were you, middle child or oldest and youngest?
Man, I'm the baby. I
You the
got three.
baby.
Yeah, I'm the baby. I got older brothers, man. I got three older brothers, man. Yeah.
Dang, I'm the middle. I'm the middle.
Okay, okay. You the cool one. Nah.
What is it? You the little big brother.
Hey, I guess, man. I guess. I'm just surviving like everybody else, my guy.
Just surviving is crazy. Just surviving is crazy. But like you, I'm from down south. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, because you mentioned earlier that you was from Memphis.
Okay.
Where did you go to boot camp? Did you go to San Diego or Paris Island?
I was out there in San Diego, man. Yeah, they sent me out that way.
How was that transitioning from being raised in a small town, Memphis, Tennessee, where there's a lot of people there? Then you go to a big town, big city, and now you're transitioning from a small town to a bigger town. How were you able to adjust to that?
So I think my transitioning is my story is a little different. Okay, because I joined late. I was already 25 years old. I was turning 25 in boot camp. So before that, I had went to college. So when I joined the Marine Corps, just going over there from from down south going to West Coast, I was used to it because it wasn't nothing crazy because I've been to college. I was older. I had more experience. So it was just a shock of what I had to do when I got here because I'd never been in the military. So I just had to learn that aspect of it. So just took it in stride because again I was older. I had already experienced, traveling. Like I said, I went to Mississippi Valley State University, even though I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. So I was already used to moving around.
You made me think about when Jay-Z started rapping or started his rapping career. He started at the age of 26.
Right.
He was like that he's more mature. He's been through life. He's not just rapping about what everyone else is rapping about because he has more life. He has more experience. Now that I'm 26, I understand exactly where y'all coming
Now that you're 26. Okay. Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
from. Well, so what encouraged you? Okay, yes, you was in college. Yes, you already had the experiences prior to joining the Corps. But what encouraged you to join it? Like, this is the moment I'm doing. I know you mentioned about the benefits, but was it something that sparked you? Was it only about the benefits that encouraged you to join?
Honestly, man, I tell you, honest to God truth. I watched the movie John Q, bro. And when I saw what he went through, he was selling everything in his house to, for his son to get benefits because of the LPO, whatever kind of insurance he had.
Yeah.
Well, he had to sell everything. And that really like touched me, man. And I already had kids. I was like, yo, what are you gonna do if your kid that you have eventually find out years later that has a heart problem, what are you gonna do? What kind of benefits are you gonna have? So I was like, military. Military got the best benefits. And I'm not paying. I'm paying with blood, sweat, and tears, but I'm not paying deductible like everybody else, right?
Yeah.
So I had no problem sacrificing my body for my family. So that what made me. That what sparked the moment when I saw that movie, John Q. I was like, I'm gone. I got to do something different. I got kids now. It's not about me, you know. And if I stayed on that path I was on, I was going to get in trouble. So that what sparked me to join the Marine Corps.
When you mentioned John Q, the first movie that I thought about, I knew it was Denzel Washington that was in that movie, but then I
Mm-hmm.
was like, dang, John Q, John Q. Then when you mentioned about the heart, about his son having the heart issue, and I was like, yep, I remember it. I remember it. It's
That's a heartfelt
interesting.
story.
There was a heart man, oh man. Denzel Washington played that part so well. He made the story come out to life. He made the film feel like it was a real thing going on, which there is around the world.
Right.
And you're able to see and get inspiration not only from your mom, not only from your brothers, but you're able to get inspiration from everybody. Were you always outgoing as a child, or were you always outgoing to help you get the inspiration, or did the inspiration just naturally come?
I like having fun, and I used to dance a lot. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I used to dance as a kid. I was hyper, uh, but I just think over time, of just life, just seeing that you got to work for stuff. Everybody wants things. Like one of the things that remind me, man, Kevin Hart, man, he had said before he did one of his stand-ups, everybody want to be rich, but don't nobody want to put the work in. Man, and so I say it to myself. I be saying it to myself. I say, everybody want to have that money, but don't nobody want to put the work in. Are you willing to put in that work? So that's the kind of mentality that I have. Man. So that's what kept me. So I had fun as a little kid, man. Like I said, I used to be around, but after a while, I just started seeing that if you're not gonna do something, you know, if who's gonna take care of you better than you? So I know if I want something, I got to work for it. So that's why.
And your mama was the example to follow.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mama D did everything. Yeah, Mama, Miss Davis, Brenda Davis did a lot, man. She did what she could to make it work for us, man. And that's why I get a lot of my work ethic, man. Like I said, if she didn't do it for us, who was gonna do it for us, right?
Hmm.
We was young kids trying to grow up, asking for the world, asking for big Christmases and all of this, not knowing nothing about adulthood and all this money and stuff she gotta pay, and all of that. So that's how I look at it. So who's gonna do it if I don't do it?
And not knowing how expensive everything is, how
Right.
boys can eat, you know what I mean? And
Man.
well, recently, a couple months ago, so now that I'm older, I get to ask mama questions like, because I understand more.
Right.
And so I'm asking, I said, so I called my mama Betty Vet. I said, Betty Vet, you ever, because I think we watched a movie or something like that. I said, you ever went to sleep hungry? She was like, son, yeah, multiple
Man.
times. I
Men
said,
and
wait, you fed us, but you didn't eat. Why did you do that? She was like, son, that's all we had. I'm like, that's crazy.
yeah, man. Like people ask me, man, you did 20 years, bro. Every time I was about to get out the Marine Corps, every time one of my kids got sick.
Mm,
At the end of every enlistment, man, my last enlistment before the time before the last time I signed the papers, I wasn't finna sign the papers, bro. And my kid got sick, and I signed the papers the day before the last day. Cause
mm,
I wasn't finna stay every time, man. One of my kids got sick. Every enlistment, bro. And I got the benefits, and so I just signed the papers again.
God, don't every time. So
Every time, bro.
time, and it's so unexpected.
Man, every time. That's why I was like, I had so many questions, but I just rolled with it every time. Every time I wanted to get out, even after my first 4 years, I needed benefits for my kids. After the 8 years, I needed benefits. You know what I'm saying? Every time I needed something, I was like, man, and it was for them. So I get what our parents are coming from.
Man. Oh, we don't have kids yet, but in the future, I understand more now than I did before. Jeez. Oh, and by the way, happy belated Father's Day as well, too, man.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I had a go, man. Shut up.
Absolutely. So when you're facing the uncertainty of the unknown, you mentioned this earlier when you were unsure about the Marine Corps, not necessarily unsure, but when you would know what you was getting yourself into, how do you handle the things that you don't expect to happen?
I pray, bro. I say a prayer. I ask for strength, bro, for real. Seriously. A lot of people don't even really know that, but I pray. Seriously. If I'm going to something I don't know, like I said, a man fear what they don't know. You dig? So if I'm going into a situation and I'm not sure, I just pray about it and I'll be all right. For real. Pray and just go.
Okay, like I mentioned earlier, it sounds easier than it is, right?
Right. Right.
It, but I understand the amount of work that goes into understanding more on how to look at life differently. What work did you put into to have a better understanding of what you're getting yourself into?
I had to slow down. I had to just really look at what I wanted to do, why I wanted to do it, how I was going to do it. The 5 W's, just like the core, man. I looked at the 5 W's. When I looked at something, I wanted to like, okay, you want, all right, this is what you want to do. Just like well, I ain't going to go there, but you got to be motivated to do some things, right? So if I wanted to know why, and I need to know what it takes to get there, just go. Nothing in life is good. You're going to have bruises, bumps and bruises all the time. I tell my kids, right? It's going to get harder as I tell you right now. It's only get harder as you get older. Nothing gets easy. It's just how you learn how to roll with it. You know what I mean? And how to prepare yourself. We talk about preparing ourselves, and how to be educated about it. So that what just kept me. I know my end goal. Nothing is perfect, man. I done hit so many bumps and bruises, but what I'm gonna cry. Yes, I cried out. Yes, I scream it out. But am I gonna stay there though? No, I'm human. Yeah, I have emotions, but I just don't choose to stay there. I stay focused on that goal. I told my wife the other day, I get tunnel vision. So that's how, man. It's not easy. No, I'm watching my mouth, but it is absolutely not easy.
Mm-hmm.
But if I do it, if I did it, you can too. Anybody can. How bad you want it?
That is true. That you mentioned that you had bumps and curves while you were going along the journey. What was the failure that taught you more about yourself?
So I think like when people was trying to commit that, so I was still in the Marine Corps with real estate, right? And so people were still trying to communicate with me, but I still had to be a Marine. I still had to be a leader. I still had to, stay with that battle rather. And so I was missing contact, missing phone calls, and replying to emails late, uh, missing clients going somewhere else because of responsive time and this and that. So I just had to, after that, I was like, hey, time management now. Hey, this is what you want. How you gonna manage your time, right? So what I did was I started really crazy. When I woke up in the morning, I sent emails. I grabbed my phone, man, and sent emails to my bed before I even got up. And then I get dressed to work. And I just started managing my time so I would not miss anything else. If I knew I had my battle rhythm for the Marine Corps, I didn't have anything scheduled on that time. I didn't wait to say, sorry, I can't make that. No, hey, here's my schedule. Just
Hold on, your the volume went out. I can't hear you. The volume just went out.
uh, uh,
All right, there we go.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Sorry. Uh,
Last
but
thing I heard, that last thing I heard was the time management.
yeah, I just had to just manage my time because I was missing clients, I was missing phone calls, missing emails. So once I had my battle rhythm in the Marine Corps, I never scheduled anything around it.
Once you have the what? What is it called?
I called my battle rhythm in the Marine Corps. Like I knew I had meetings on Mondays. I had this on Tuesdays. I had this on Wednesdays. My weekly schedule. I
Mm,
just did battle rhythm because we just talking about the Corps. Once I had my weekly schedule with the military, when I was dealing with real estate, I just didn't plan anything around it. So if I knew I had meetings and I knew we was going to the field and this and that for that week, I just managed around it. If I knew something was going to take like 30 minutes, I'd do it during lunch. You know what I'm saying? If I knew something could take this long, I could do it, uh, going to, doing lunch, driving home, going to work. So I just started management. Then that's how I started noticing I was staying on top of everything. So I was able to produce. I wanted to be proactive than reactive.
You know what's so interesting? When I was in the Corps, and before I got out, I think I had 18 months left, and then no, not even. Oh wait, hold on. I got out in 2022, around like 2020. So yeah, 18 months to 24 months time frame. I started learning more about what I'm doing today, and so of course, when you're learning something new, you have to learn everything. You have to learn the basics. You have to learn what it means. You have to learn the point of it, the reason behind it, the why, and so on and so forth. And so I literally remember because I stayed off of base and I stayed in Vista, California, and
Okay.
that drive there from Vista, California to Camp Pendleton is like 30 to 35 minutes. So
Right.
rather than me listen to music, let me listen to some podcasts. Let me listen to some people that was in real estate. That's when I came across a guy named Max Maxwell. You ever
Right.
heard of him?
Not off the top of my head, man. Not off the top of my head, but keep going.
Okay, okay. He was into the real estate wholesaling, and
Okay.
so I'm driving to work. I'm listening to him, watching different videos, and I'm like, man, I'm okay. He's explaining how to get into real estate. He's showing the process. I'm not watching videos while I'm driving. I'm just listening, and of course, when you're in the court, you don't have time to do anything because you don't recognize the time that you have. But then I
Right.
start to pay attention. Like, hold on. We have a certain amount of time to be there before we get there early. We got lunch. We got after. Like, you make time for what you want. And then I start to recognize if I want to prepare for my future, I don't know what's going to come from this. I need to start preparing today. And I didn't know it was called time management during that time. I was just thinking about it was called making time for what you want.
Right, right. Yeah, hey, same thing, same, man, same, but you learn that though. See what I'm saying? Same. So, and that's why everybody, and I don't mind telling people how I did it. You know what I mean? Because only 85% of people listening anyway.
Yeah, yeah. What it say? People want to be successful. Hold
Hmm.
on. I just lost. Oh, there we go. People want to be successful, and then what is called? People want to be successful until they get hit, and then when they get knocked down, they want to be successful no more.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not easy to change your life. It's not easy to put yourself in position. It's not easy to do that. When you start to really adjust your time accordingly and really use the time that you have, what shift did you see? Did you see? Did you notice?
Man, you are frozen.
Oh man.
Hold on. Can I
Hey,
see you?
hello. Let me see.
Okay, I got you now. All right, say that again. I'm sorry, brother. You was frozen while you was talking. I was trying to fix the phone.
I'm good. My bad, my bad. But so I was asking about dang, time management. Okay, when you start to recognize that you was managing the time that you have,
Mhm.
how did everything shift for you? How did it start working for you in your favor?
Uh, House work shift in my favor, man. I was able to spend more time with my family. Because I was always in that get it mode. I need to get this deal, and so I could be spending time with the family, and I know I got a phone call. I just run away, you know, and that can start, trouble in the house too. You on the real estate, but what about your kids? I ain't got time for that, right? So it turned in my favor for that, right? And then it was a positive response because I was providing information before people even had to ask me for it, especially once I knew what was going on. Now, if I ever hit a bump and I didn't know, that was one thing, but I was so used to feeding information because I don't want anybody waiting on me. I hate that. During a transaction, somebody said, "Well, we waiting on this guy." No, you're not waiting on me. You're not. And if I don't know, I got to figure it out. So that's why I try to feed all that information. And so it came. Everybody was used to getting information from me. They knew if I had it, I would give it to them. And I was able to spend way more time with my family. And then it brought down stress because I was trying to manage so many things. So that's how I played in my favor.
So your biggest failure turned into the greatest lesson that you ever had to witness or go through.
pretty much. For the most part, I ain't gonna say one of my favorites, not my greatest favorite, but one of my favorites.
So what is your greatest failure?
Um, hey, that's another topic on another
That's
day. That's another topic for another day, man. But
understood.
but this was definitely a learning experience from failure, though. But yeah, we talk about that one another day.
Understood. Understood. And the reason why I asked that is because people see your success. People see your consistency. People see that you're closing deals, that you're getting clients, that you're communicating with clients on a consistent basis, but they don't see what you have to go through. They don't pull behind the curtain. They don't open the door. They don't step into your world. Then when they start to step into your world, they start to see you have to do a lot of things.
Right.
How do you stay grounded by everything that you have to do so you don't get overwhelmed?
Because I don't forget what I remember, man. I just try to. A lot of times, I try to put myself in somebody else's situation. I remember how it was when I first started out real estate, when I didn't know anything. When I was worried about this, when I was anxious to get my first deal, when I was trying to find clients. When I wrote my first offer, I knew, when I got my first offer accepted, I remember how I felt then, man, and what I wanted to know and what I needed to know, and I didn't want people looking at me because in real estate, people don't want to talk about it, but they look you up, right? And they can look you up, and they can tell, oh, he just got his real estate license, he green, we can run a fast one on him. No, you're not. You can think that if you want to. First of all, the realtor 9 times out of 10 just took the test, so they still got the knowledge in their head. They just don't know how to apply it, right? And so that's where we come in at, right? As a productivity coach, that's where I come in at. I'm gonna teach you how to do that. Oh yeah, because man, it's a cold world out here. Man. It really is. And so I put myself in a position. That's how I do it. If I would want somebody to help me, I try to help that person just like that.
Because you remember being in their shoes.
Right, right. Trying to figure out not knowing anything. So that's why. Because that's not a good feeling, man. Especially when you try, and that's how a lot of people get distracted, man, and stop focusing on their goals. Because when they trying to do something, if it don't go the way that they think it's supposed to go, right, they get distracted and then they forget and then they quit. But if you come in and I'm like, no, yeah, you did that wrong. We ain't doing that again, all right? So we're gonna do this now.
So recently, every time I host a podcast episode, I go off script. I go off script, and what that means is that now, since you're the profession in real estate, let's just say hypothetically speaking, I come to you like, hey, Andre, I want to get into real estate, man. What are the first three steps that I need to do? Mine is take the test. We know everybody got to take the test to get their real estate license. Mine is that. If I was coming to you and say I want to get into real estate, I've already taken my test. How would you
Okay.
guide me to get
So
into real
you
estate?
so you come to me already licensed and everything.
Yep.
How would I guide you?
Hmm.
Oh boy. First, I'm gonna make sure that you know the systems. You know, because taking is a process. Because once you take the test, you get your license. Now you got your license, you still have to pay your dues. You have to become a member, a board member, right? And then you have to get you got to get the zip forms. So you have to pay for your car forms, right? Your real estate forms. So that's you pay. I say roughly. Let's say 1,000. I say you pay 1,000. Now you got your forms together. I just got first. I'm gonna teach you how to work the system because you can be out there talking real estate all day long, and then somebody, like, yes, I want to buy a house. Yes, I want to. Yes, I want to. I'm ready to go right now. And then what you gonna be like? What system? Hold on. Let me call you right back. Let me find the system. That guy or girl, or they're gonna go. They're gonna be like, okay, who is this guy? You know. So I'm gonna teach you the systems. Once I teach you the systems and the background with the back office, if you will, about real estate, then you can still have conversations about real estate. There's nothing wrong with that. But you still have to know the basics, like you said, the basics. For when you get up, make your bed. You want to talk about real estate, you need to know how to work the MLS. If you don't know how to work the MLS, what are you doing? You know how to work your mouth. Because if somebody come ask you for a house, how you or criteria, or they want information or forms or documents, if you don't have it, what are you doing? You gonna give a referral and let somebody else get that? Okay, yeah, refer them to me. So that's why I teach them the basics seriously. Because if you don't know the basics, man, you're not going to be able to jump out there. And a lot of people don't. That's the problem. A lot of people get their real estate license, right? And then they just the broker, they join a brokerage, and they say, "All right, go sell houses." Then now you're trying to ask questions. They just tell you to go sell houses. Now you got to figure it out, and don't do nothing bad and end up getting sued. It's California, man.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's valid.
It is, man, seriously. But that's why I just remember how I was. I was eager to learn. I was eager to get going in real estate, and I was fortunate. I had my cousin, my broker, Michael Davis. He mentored me. But I remember I was hungry because he was like, "Man, what are you doing? Slow down." Like I'm on that military, that Marine Corps time. I'm like, "Man, I want it. Let's go." He's like, "Man, you gotta slow down." So the next person that come in that's hungry, right, and it really want to know real estate. That's what I plan to do. Because I know how it was when I was just sitting there just waiting on people.
Hmm. That's crazy. When I and you can tell your expertise, you can tell your level of experience based off the way you just broke that down. There's a saying that goes to say that if you can't break down what your profession to someone that don't even understand what they're doing, then are you really a profession?
Mm.
Professional? Are you really a professional? And so you made me think about when I got into real estate and when I was trying to do real estate wholesaling, when I was trying to call homeowners, and I didn't understand that if you're only focusing on one homeowner, you're gonna it's gonna take a while for you to close. Whereas if you have many homeowners that you're reaching out to, it can close at different times. And so when I first started working with my mentors, Mike and Briglio and Steve Anderson, it was teach me about not only just sales, not only just marketing, not only just communication. That was teach me how to understand what I was doing. And shout out to Steve Anderson because he was the one that was watching me a lot. And when I was cold calling, he was like, Terrell, he said you sound like a kid. I was like 23 during that time. I was 23 during that time. I'm like, what you mean? I sound like a kid. I'm like, I'm just talking. He was like, bruh, these are older people that you are talking to. These older people that you're speaking with, they can hear that you're 23 years old. And at the time, I'm like, I don't understand that. Like, how they know I'm 23 years old over the phone? Like, they don't know me. And he gave me a scenario. He was like, you know what a construction worker sound like? I said, no. He said, well, I want you to sound like a construction worker. I'm like, how do they sound? A construction
Right,
worker
right, 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 right.
tired and they just got off of work. I'm like, I don't know that. And so he's teaching me about real estate. He's helping me understand real estate. He's testing me, and I'm really failing a lot. How important is mentorship in everything that you're doing?
Man, extremely, man, extremely. It's so many. Getting a license is just a step of it. Once you start doing transactions, even to this day, man, I have my broker look over my contracts before I hit send. Because one, every transaction is different. There's no one. Out of all the transactions I've had, none of them is the same. Not one. They're close, but not one. So I still have my broker, and I have my license for 4 years. Yeah, 4 years, and I still have him look over everything because he's my broker. He's been in the game way longer than me. He's been in the game 20 plus years. So it might be some stuff that I don't know. So that's how I express that you need to have mentorship and real estate because you can check the wrong box, don't check the right box. Then you tell your client this and tell them that, and then you get smacked with this, right? And guess who signed that contract as a realtor? You did, and you responsible. Now you got to go tap dance. But hey, I thought I did this. Yeah, but I didn't. And then now and that could be thousands of dollars, man. Hundreds of thousands of dollars because somebody thought they was going to get one thing and they didn't. And now you are responsible for it because you signed the contract. You the realtor.
And that's where you learn how to slow down.
How you doing? I sure did. That's how I learned to slow down, man. Because everybody, yeah, you just slow down. I'm not getting it now. You're not getting me like that.
They say the best teacher is the job on the training because you learn more about the things that the book doesn't cover, that the courses doesn't cover.
Right,
Like the more you're doing real estate, the more you're doing the job, the more you're doing the profession, the more you will understand the smaller details that a lot of people don't speak about.
right. I'm telling you, man. Yeah, because the book, knowing the passing test is just one thing. Hands on, that OJT, man, on the job training. Because like you said, you do one deal, and you be like, oh yeah, let's go next and bring it in. You be like, what's this? You know what I mean? I was real estate, my boy. Keep it going. keep that same energy. Now you just got it's a learning curve you're gonna hit, but it's gonna be all right.
Okay, when you hit your learning curve, when you was filling out the applications, when you actually starting to work with clients, you're building momentum, you're seeing the results, you're getting success, short success that you're getting. How did you not let the mistakes stop you from keep growing, keep developing?
uh, I knew I'm not slow. I knew I was new to the game, so I knew it was a lot I had to learn. So I expected, you know what I'm saying, some bumps and bruises. And I had some I wasn't expecting, but I knew that this is a big real estate is a big industry, and I know nothing about. So I know I'm gonna take some face shots and this and that. But it's okay. That's what's gonna make you. That's what helps you learn. So that's why I expected some of them, and the military my upbringing prepared me a lot. So I expected some of it. You got your known knowns and you got your known unknowns. So I was able to roll with the punches, man. At the end of the day,
Okay. You mentioned that you have productivity. What was that?
productivity coach,
Productivity coach. Yes, yes,
uh,
yes.
and
So I
it's
mean,
just
go ahead, go ahead.
it's just me coaching realtor as they join our brokerage, so they can
Uh,
know how to become a successful realtor. It's just the basics, man. And the thing is, don't have to be people who do cold calling, door knocking. If you just have to find your niche, man. That's what it is. And because I don't cold call, I don't door knock. I'm social media,
mm,
and then I just know people, but I don't, nah, because I don't like it. I'm not doing it.
and you just made me. You just what is it called? You bring back PTSD, man.
Oh,
in,
oh,
in real estate, before I even got into real estate, I'm just thinking it's one particular thing like one niche, one type of owner that you're going out to. You have vacant owners, you have land owners, you have multifamily owners, you have what is it called? This what is it called this the houses that's not in good condition.
distress homes, man.
Distress home, man. Oh my God, you talking about niche, bro? I'm trying to talk to everybody.
Yeah, but no, but what I meant niche in like your spirit, like who you around all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know everybody's on social media.
Mm,
Everybody. So if rather you'll see me if I'm friends with you or you friends with somebody that's friends with me. I keep my face out there so people know who I am. So when you think of real estate, you'll see me. All right, and I'll
mm.
be like,
Your specialty, you're specializing in social media. How did you learn how to specialize in social media to grow your real estate business?
trial and error, man. I was really so like before real estate. I mean, before social media, where is that now? I was trying to like just do something different, right? So young Marines, man, everybody on their phone. So I was like, hey, Instagram. Oh, you don't have an Instagram, master? Nah, I got one now. Now I got an Instagram. Hey, how do you make these posts? Oh, well, you do that. I caught the young generation, man. And then they showed me, and then they were like, oh, you got to get this. Oh, okay, cool. And then I got my 19-year-old son that's still here, right? He was young, on video games and all this tech, right? Cool. Hey, Dad, you can do a video and make it do this. Oh, really? That's how I got tapped into the younger generation, man.
You're separating yourself. You're distinguishing yourself. What has your kids taught you about success?
My kids taught me about success.
Hmm.
Uh, it's so much me teaching them about success, man. They ain't. My thing is that I tell them don't let it go to your head, because they just see a lot of things that I do and what I can provide and do for them. But I just say never get comfortable. So I don't let it go to you. Tell them don't let it go to your head, man. Because when you start doing that, that's where you mess up at.
Okay.
In my opinion. So I mean, other people got their opinions, but don't let it go to your head, man. Keep grinding like you don't have it. Keep grinding like you broke. Keep
Wow.
grinding like you broke. You can
Wow.
have all the money in the world in the bank. Keep grinding like you don't got it. Yeah, that's what it is. There you go.
So the reason why I asked what has your kids taught you about success is because of course I'm 26 years old, and one thing that I've learned while being on this journey is that we learn from everybody. Everybody has
Right.
their own way of operating. Everybody has their own way of thinking, and so that's the reason why I asked you that question. But I'm glad that you said I teach them not to let the success go to their head.
Yeah.
It's
And
crazy.
and and I they seeing that hard work, especially my youngest one here, he's seeing that. He's like, Dad, you gotta do this, Dad, you studying for this, Dad, you gotta go here. And he just looking at me like, I'm like, yeah, man, but you'll see the reward and the benefit later. you know. And then he's like, "Oh, Dad, I forgot you had this. Yeah, son, you remember that time that I was running around, I couldn't make this, I couldn't make that, or we was just in passing and this and that. That's what it is." And then he be like, "Oh, cool." And they understand because I communicate with my kids
Okay. Did you learn how to communicate with your kids from the Marine Corps, or you learn how to communicate with your kids just over time?
over time, because all of them different. All of them are different. Everybody got their own personalities. The way I talk to my oldest, I cannot talk to my youngest. And then I have a daughter. So my daughter, I cannot talk to my daughter the way I talk to my boys. So that just came over time because they all different. They all have different personalities, man. So I can't. Yeah, I just talk to them different over time.
Okay. So we don't have kids just yet. And as I was in Subway, and it was a mom and dad, and they had same thing, two boys and one girl, but they was young. They was like 2, 3, and then the little baby was like maybe a couple months, not a couple months, like maybe 18 months, give or take. And the mom was on this side, and the dad was on this side, and the three kids was right here. Like
Hmm.
I
In the
said,
middle.
God dog. I said, excuse, I don't mean to bother y'all nothing of the nature, but y'all are great parents. The fact that y'all do that, like I didn't understand it. And he was like, as long as they stay right here, they okay.
Hmm.
If they go out, they not okay. I said, oh,
Yeah, yeah. Got to keep them contained, man. We can't be moving out free will and whatnot. Yeah, absolutely.
why was it important to learn how to contain yourself?
Because I bite off more than I can chew, man. I'll be taking on more than I can chew. And still to this day, my wife thinks I'm doing more than what I should be doing. But she do recognize the fact that I have calmed. I stepped a couple of feet back, you know, and slowed down because if I take on more than I can do, I'm gonna get frustrated when I can't complete it, and then frustration, then I'm gonna start blaming people. You know what I mean? Along with myself, but just because just nature of people, they blame it. Well, if I wouldn't have been doing this, just nature of people, then that's gonna cause a strain on my family, my marriage. We need all that. So just had to wait. I weigh the pros and the cons, man. Is it worth it? Is the juice worth the squeeze? No, Dre, step back some. Okay? Step back. And then I found that, what I do get accomplished is not better but smoother, if you will. Yeah, because I slowed down and took a step back.
I was just about to say, I would say because you slow down, you're watching it, and you're not in much of a hurry to
Right.
accomplish it, but you're letting it come in the time that it's supposed to come.
Right. Because the military, we move at this much pace. So I'm like, let's go. Like I done knocked this house out. Let's go. What we waiting on? Like, let's move, man. Like y'all ain't up, y'all ain't working. What are we waiting on? That's how I used to be. And then when you passionate about it, now I got an attitude, right? I'm ready to cuss everybody out, but I gotta remain professional. So I had to step it back. I had to step back, and be like, all right, Dre, everybody don't work like you. Everybody don't move like you. So step that back, and that's how I developed some awesome relationships, man, and that's where I'm at right now. I looked at myself, looked in the mirror.
My favorite song by Michael Jackson is "Man in the Mirror." When I
Uh-oh.
had went through my divorce, and for some reason when that song came on, I heard the song before, but you know how you go through things, you go through life, and then when you hear something, see something differently, it makes sense in a whole different way. When I
Right.
started listening to that song, it was like you have to start with the man in the mirror. If you want to create change, start with the person in the mirror. I'm like, dang, he been saying that one line this whole time because you can't change the song. You can't go back and change the song.
Yeah.
However, what you can do is that you can gain the experience and the understanding will come with the experience. And so now you're looking at yourself differently. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. I eat the bullet, man. If I mess up, yeah, I'll be like, yo, Dre, what was that, dude? They're like, I gotta get on a phone call. I gotta make a couple of apologies. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta. No, I do take responsibility, man, for what I do. Man. That's what I'm trying to teach my youngest here right now. Just on to it, man. Bad news don't get better over time.
bad news don't get better over time. It does not.
You better rip that band-aid off, man. Let's go. Let's fight the music. Daddy here with you. Let's fight it together. But it don't get, let's I don't know why we marking time, man. Let's go.
Well, the other day I was talking to my wife, and I think she was reading a post, and she was like that. Somebody said they get up at 10 o'clock, or they start their day at 10 o'clock in the morning. I said, man, I would never start my day at 10 o'clock in the morning.
You know what I did by 10? I'm trying to wind down. You know how much I did by 10?
That's
Man,
crazy.
you sit there. I got my day started by, man.
Man, when she said that, I said 10 o'clock. That's crazy. But I get it. Everybody don't necessarily get up at the same time, but it's more so of, what works best for them.
Right, right.
When you discover how to take a responsibility for yourself, how did you develop compassion for others?
I think, man, I think to answer, I think all your questions is coming back to what I was saying is that I just I remember how I felt, man. You know what I mean? I did, man. I remember like not knowing nothing, just feeling dumb. Yeah, I passed the test, but I don't know what I'm doing. I remember how I felt. And so I was just like, nah, man, that was a jacked up feeling. So and when I see, especially when you humble about it, right? That draws me into wanting to help you, man. When you humble and you sincerely want to know. Now if you got an attitude, totally different story, man. You got a totally different story. You come to me with all that, but so that what makes me want to help people, though. Seriously, man. Cause I remember that, man. Seriously, that ain't a good feeling, man. It's not. And nobody there to help, man. Everybody needs help. Everybody. You, me, everybody need help, man. So like, that's why I'm like that. Cause I remember how I feel when I need help and ain't nobody gonna help me. And then you already know people got pride and don't want to ask for help, right? So if it's not being thrown on you, you just gonna sit there and look be stupid. I don't know what I'm doing. Where you next? I don't know, man. Don't nobody want to say nothing to me. You know what I mean? Nah.
Mhm.
So that's why, man.
That's one thing I do respect about real estate is that if you get around the right people, the right community, the right information, not only will you be able to grow differently. Well, quite honestly, I only closed one deal, one wholesale deal, but I wasn't consistent with it. And nonetheless, like community aspect just doesn't go for real estate, it goes for anything that you're doing. Like mentorship is there. You always need help. You always can seek guidance, and there's always someone that's willing to help. For the
Mm,
ones that's not willing to help, it's gonna be hard to accept the no, but the no is gonna help you understand what you're looking for or what's gonna come to you.
right. Right. Absolutely. Man, you get it. All you need is one yes.
But you got to go through a lot of no's to get there. Yes.
Yeah, you gotta come on now. Ain't nothing free, man. No, people gotta get that out their head, man. Like you're gonna have some heartache and pain, some trials, tribulations. If it was that easy, everybody be doing it. Everybody be a millionaire. I'd be a millionaire right now if it was that easy. You know what I'm saying? You gotta got to stand for the fight, man. I understand. I understand why rich people are cheap.
Why?
You- How hard they work to get their money, because that's how they stay rich. Not spending all their money, being cheap with their money. That's how you stay rich.
Yeah.
Not just out here splurging on this and that. No, no. I work hard for it. No, we're not doing that.
One day I had looked up I had saw a video and it was like a Richie Millie, it was like a blue Richie Millie. I'm like, I wonder how much these watches cost. And so I went on YouTube, put up a Rolex video, and they was asking different people like, "Do you have a Rolex? Do you have a Rolex? Do you have a Rolex?" For the few that said yes, someone paid like 200,000, someone paid 300,000, someone paid 50,000, someone paid 20,000. I'm like, you're paying for a watch? That's crazy.
Yeah, I ain't got, I don't, listen.
That's crazy.
I mean, I don't mind. I take that as a gift. I'm not paying my hard-earned dollars for that, but I take it as a gift. Absolutely.
That's
For my hard-earned money, no, bro. I got bigger problems.
Did real estate help you become a better person overall?
Yes, I would say yes. I think, I think the knowledge I gained from learning real estate, and the doors that it opened, it opened opportunities for me. Definitely, definitely. Do I think it made me a better person? Yeah, I say yes overall. Uh, Still a work in progress though. God's still working on me, man. I still got to, master patience, you know. Uh, and I know my flaws, you know what I mean. So, but yeah, it has made me a better person. I would say that.
Mm,
But it's a very small aspect. So it's not, you know what I mean. It's very. That's why I'm just giving a yes or no answer. Yes,
okay, okay. Did the Marine Corps, since you did 22 years in the Marine Corps, did the Marine Corps have you become a better person?
absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. They did. They did.
okay.
I got tried a lot of times, but they made me a better person. They did. My mama at my retirement, my mama, when she came to see me, or came to my retirement, she was telling everybody, the Marine Corps saved my baby life. She tell everybody the Marine Corps saved my life. Because I was,
Mm,
I was just young, man. That's it. And that's when I left. But
that's crazy. Okay, so I do want to ask you another question. So when we first met, when I was checking out when I was about to get out the Corps and I was going around the CLR 15, going to different places to get signatures. When we met and had our first conversation, what did you think about the conversation that we had?
I was like, who is this? I was like, who is this little young man right here? You know what I mean? Because I peeped you talking from, I was at back, my office, my cubicle was in the back. So I could see everybody that come in and when they want something. And so I was just looking at how you carried yourself. You know what I mean? How you was acting when you was up to when you was trying to get something done. And you was just respectful. Look, I was like, "Well, a little respectful young man right here, man. You know what? I'm gonna go around, I'm gonna mess with him. Cause I wasn't like a lot of the other higher ups. I was my own person. You know what I mean? So when I saw somebody, that, you know, positivity, right? You know what I'm saying? Respectful, not being disrespectful. I'll go over there and chop it up with him, see where your head at. And then that's when I started seeing where your head was. And I was like, all right, man, yeah, maybe you should do real estate. And then when you didn't do real estate, you joined and started doing your own thing. I could see something coming in you though. I could see you doing something, whether it was real estate, podcast, whatever. You just want to do something because of the positive energy. That's what made me say something to you for real. Because rather than that, I just let people come on. They be up there, be like, they ain't got shit. They ain't got nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with me. But that what made me speak to you though. And then as you continue to talk, I was like, yeah, little dude gonna be all right. Yeah. So
I
that's what made me
appreciate
talk
that.
to you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So we got one segment that's called Best for Last. And so when
Okay.
I ask, I'm going to ask 4 questions and you answer within 30 seconds.
Okay.
First question, what are you grateful for?
Family?
Okay. Second question: do you have any regrets?
No.
Okay. Third third question: what do you think your biggest lesson is while being in the Marine Corps and real estate at the same time? Well, either or. Your biggest lesson throughout your career. Let's say that.
My biggest lesson was, like I said, just working hard for what you want. And then I learned also in real estate to just be patient. So both of them is always work hard for what you want, man, and be patient. And nothing is easy. That's nothing. Listen, if something is easy, 9 times out of 10 it's not good. Because look, if you even take like these easy, I mean these free platforms, right? Free this. You can only do so much to it. But if you pay for the platform, you can do unlimited things, right? So if you're trying to do this free, everything is free. Oh, I can learn this is free, it's free. It ain't good, man. Seriously. You gotta work. So it's gonna cost you either time or money. One it might cost you both. But it's gonna cost you one. It's gonna cost you one and the other might cost you both. So that's what I learned, man. Seriously.
That is a valid statement. That's a valid
For real, man.
statement.
Seriously.
After the last, that is a valid question. The last question is, what does failure is knowledge mean to you?
That's what you learn, man. That's how you learn from selling. Hey, like my mom used to tell me, don't touch that iron, it's hot. I go over there and I touch that iron and it burned the hell out of me, right? I'm gonna not touch that iron again. So failure, if you get knocked down, you don't make the same mistake. You learn from it. That's what I think. That's what I take from the failure is knowledge, right? Because you failing just because you fail doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. You learn from that. Just like I said, every deal is not the same, right? That I do in real estate, they're not the same. So what? Because it's not the same, I'm not going to do the deal. Because it's not the same, I'm not going to take care of this client that has nothing to do with whatever clients I have. So I think failure is knowledge, man. It builds knowledge, man. You know what I mean? Because how else you going to learn?
That is true, Dre, man. I appreciate it, man. Before we log off, how can people follow you? How can they start working with you if they want to get into real estate? How can they buy or sell a house with you? How can they learn more information about you?
Well, I'm all over social media. My Instagram is Andre underscore Davis underscore Realty. And then you can just type Andre Davis in Facebook. I'm on there as well. But
You mind
my
spelling it?
Andre Andre. My last name Davis Davis. You will see me on there. My email is adavisrealtor2021 @gmail. I spell it A as in Alpha, D as in Delta, A as in Alpha, V as in Victor, I as in India, S as in Sierra, R as in Romeo, E as in Echo, A as in Apple, L as in Lima, T as in Tango, O as in Oscar, R in Romeo, 2021 @gmail.com. And
Man,
my business phone number is 951-473-6048. Feel free to reach out to me.
what about your LinkedIn, YouTube, any other social media, like
Uh,
website?
yeah, I have them, but I don't know them all. All of it is connected though. And my LinkedIn is Andre Davis as well. Just my name spelled Andre. Davis is my last name with Davis Realty Group. So Davis Realty Group, we are based out here, of Marietta, California, on Madison Avenue, 25185, Madison Avenue. So you can stop by our brokers, Michael Davis. So yeah, I think I gave you enough contact information. Just look me up or follow me with Failure's Knowledge because I'm definitely going to be following this young man right here to see the things that he does. So you'll be able to get in touch with me through him if you can't remember everything that I just
No.
said.
All right, Dre, how was it being on Phase Knowledge Podcast?
I was nervous because I never did a podcast, man. But what I love about being on Failure Knowledge podcast is you made it comfortable. You make it comfortable, and it makes me want to speak out. It makes me want to volunteer information. So the fact that you work with me, man, you allow me the opportunity, and that simple fact that you made it comfortable for me able to be able to speak.
Okay, and then is there anything that I can work on and or improve for the next guest?
No, I think you just need to keep going on the rate you're going, man. Trial and error, man. You're doing fine. You keep doing it. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. Like I said, you got your known knowns and your known unknowns. Some things you're gonna learn by just going through it, brother. I think you're on the right track. So as long as you stay with it, you're gonna find what you need and what you feel you need to correct this. So right now, I'm super proud of you, man, and I love what I'm seeing. So I say stay with it because you done came a ways from when you was first posting to now, right? And guess what? I ain't say anything. You did that on your own. So keep it up. You're gonna be on the right. You on the right track, my boy.
I appreciate that. And then last question. So if someone was hesitant to come on to Phase podcast, what advice would you give them to prepare for the conversation?
I tell them to look over the questionnaires like you did. The topics that's going to be discussed because you do prepare your guests, letting them know a little about yourself, and then you let them know what you'll be talking about. I just tell them that they'll be fine, man, because you're going to make them comfortable. Because I was nervous. I got my little notes printed out right here, and I'm over here like Marine Corps about to start writing down notes, but we got to talking, and I noticed you still staying on script throughout the whole process. So that's why I said you're gonna make them comfortable. So I encourage people to come onto your podcast, especially with this being my first one. Actually, seriously.
And man, I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. I'm gonna stop recording again.